Coming out of the lion's den. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well. Double honors to our elders as well, Harwan Bayasharala. Double honors, Slacky, but sincere to the Akim and Aquatim and the children that's pushing the truth and believing with sincerity. I wanted to bring out this lesson going into a meteor shower that's coming up. It's a peak meteor shower that's coming up on November 17th and 18th. And there's also going to be a lunar eclipse happening the 19th, so like a day after it. And let me bring out the first scripture book.
Right. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring."
So there's going to be signs right now. The meteor shower and the lunar eclipse that's happening. Those are signs that everything's coming into play. That Yahweh Shai is going to come in the cloud and destroy this place. But of course, the other prophecies have to come as well. Let me continue.
And you got the distress of nations. You see what's going on in Afghanistan right now, to where like they're running them up because they don't know how to stabilize the country ever since America pulled their troops out. So basically, you have distress of nations, signs in the heavens and the earth, in the moon and the stars, and great perplexity. And your witness is not going on with the shortage of goods coming in and out, shelves being empty at the grocery stores. All these things are signs that the coming of our Savior, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All the way to 26. All right, verse 26. It says, "Men's heart failing them for fear, for the looking after those things which are coming on earth."
And so what people call UFOs, those things coming into this realm, people have a lot of fear. There was one video where this guy was like, "Officer, don't worry about that. Those are cherries." He didn't say cherries. He was like, "That's a UFO." And he had a lot of fear in the tone of his voice, because that's a very fearful thing to someone who doesn't know the glory and knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh Shai.
Right. It says, "For the powers of heaven shall be shaken."
The powers of heaven shall be shaken. When these missiles hit, it's gonna be a very tumultuous situation, a tumultuous event.
Right. "And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory."
With power and great glory. And that cloud is talking about is a chariot, what people call so-called UFOs. All right, and that's gonna be a very beautiful and glorious thing. I'm gonna go to
Luke 21:11. It's Luke 21:11. It says, I'll start at 10. It says, "And then he said unto them, Nations shall rise against nation, kingdoms against kingdoms."
That's what's happening right now. Russia and China teamed up to go against America. There's other little proxy wars and smaller nations that are being used by the bigger nations to fight wars and to bleed America. Keep going.
And also you got Russia building up forces around Ukraine again. And then you got China still dealing with everything with Taiwan. So this is the distress upon nations going up against each other. And like the brother said, those proxy wars are going to turn into major wars, where they're not going to use these smaller countries. They're just going to be going out the all-out war between the bigger countries like Russia and China teaming up against America, and and Iran and North Korea, and all these all these nations joining forces with Russia to take this place down, going according to I think Ezekiel 38. All right,
I was gonna get Jeremiah 10 and 2.
Jeremiah 10 and 2.
And you get wisdom, Solomon 13.
All right.
I'm gonna read Jeremiah 10 and 2.
Okay.
This is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them." And to an individual who doesn't know the power, glory of Yahweh Yahushua, seeing simply just meteors fall from the sky in a lunar eclipse, they think that something terrible is going to happen upon the face. Something terrible is going to happen upon the face of earth, which is the destruction of this kingdom. But they don't know that those signs are meant for better things to come as well.
And they're also stuck in a carnal state of mind because like they see these things and they start to worship the things that they see in heaven instead of having their mind broadened to where they can see past the carnal realm and go into the spiritual realm and understand the creator that created all these things that we're going to see. All right, you want to get wisdom song? All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1. It says, surely vain are all men by nature.
That's also the heart is deceitful above all things. All right.
And it says, who are ignorant of Yahweh and could not, out of the good things that are seen, know him that is, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the work master.
Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the work master. They rather worship they rather worship the creations rather than the creator. All right, people they'll get songs or something like that tattooed onto them, or movie scenes. They'll start idolizing their life based off of a fictional character rather than actually going into the creator of those characters or of those songs. And also they would rather worship the creations, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the trees and shit like that.
And all those things are beautiful, but how much more beautiful is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the creator of all these things, you know? All right, verse 2, it says, but deem either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be gods which govern the world.
The Greek and the Roman polytheistic gods that they have a god literally for every single thing, for the daytime, for the nighttime, for the harvest, for the grass, for the insects. They have so many powers over all those ordinances, over all those things, because they think those things themselves are powers. But truly, it's Yahweh Yahushai having a beautiful symphony of clockwork happening for all those things to sync up and take place.
Verse 3, which with whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better, with those beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
Let them know how much better Yahweh Yahushai is. All right, he's much better than those things. That's just much better the Lord is than the things that he created. He is beautiful, beautiful creations down here in this realm, but he's much more glorious than that. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun itself, and we see that as the brightest light upon the face of the earth. And his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than that. All right.
It says, for the first author of beauty had created them. Right. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, being the holy angels in Yahushai, were given the power to beautify the earth, because in the beginning the earth was dark and without form and void. All right. And then the Lord said, let there be light, and that's when he made the sun and the moon, and the light came upon the earth. And that was the first 1,000 years, all right, when he was able to do that. And he just beautified and glorified the earth after that. But he's even more glorious than the creations that he created.
I'm gonna go with you get Wisdom Solomon 13:4. Oh, you already got it.
Yeah.
Well, before you read that, I'm gonna read Romans 1:25. This is Romans chapter 1, verse 25. It says, "Who changes the truth of Yahweh into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever among Khan." Who and that's these heathens, and that's the 2/3 of our people. They changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie, rather than giving all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh Yahushua for seeing the meteors and the stars, the sun, the moon, the waves crashing onto the cliffs of the rock. Rather than giving glory and honor unto him, they think that those things themselves themselves are power, but they aren't.
And that's and the key point about that is that's mainly 2/3 of our people, because these heathen nations are not going to be able to um, obtain the understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Only Israel was set up to be able to do that. All right, so 2/3 of our people have taken on the customs of these heathens. That's why it said in Jeremiah chapter 10, learn not the way of the heathens and be not dismayed, for the heathens are dismayed at the signs of heaven. So therefore, 2/3 of our people are unable to recognize the beauty in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So their mind is stuck in this realm, and they can only deal with carnal knowledge. So they change the glory of Yahweh into their own glory, and will worship the creation rather than seeing past that and worshiping the Creator,
the unseen,
the
invisible. Chapter verse 4.
All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 4. But if they were astonished at the power of the and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them.
Come on, read one more time.
It said, but if they were astonished at their power and virtue.
So they're astonished at the meteors, all right? They're like, oh my gosh, keep going.
It says, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them.
And Yahweh is much mightier than the meteors that they see coming from the sky. And I also wanted to touch on a point that the meteor shower that's coming is called the Leonid meteor shower, and they call it that because the meteors seem to in the sky, they seem to come from the constellation Leo, and so that's why they give praise and glory unto that. But really, there's no honor to give to a constellation. It's honor to give to Yahweh for making that constellation and for making making the meteors come from that constellation. A beautiful losing my train of thought. A beautiful setup that he has. A beautiful starting point that he has that he has for everything.
And that's one of the things, I think it was Wisdom of Solomon 6 or something like that, where he was going to give us understanding of the operation of the elements and everything like that, the operations of the earth, which is a beautiful thing, because how much more beautiful is he for us to be able to understand, and us being able to understand the operation of those elements and different things even proves his existence even more. But you have individuals like scientists that try to use the beauty of the galaxy and the beauty of the stars and the beauty of the planets as a way to discredit Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and they try to use science to try to say he doesn't exist. But the scriptures say the fool has said there is no God. All right, and they're going to die in their disbelief, because when he shows and manifests who he is, they're going to be destroyed with their disbelief.
The Israelites know the power of Yahweh. They'll say, those stars, they shine bright and they burn bright because of the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But a scientist, a fool who knows not the glory of Yahweh Yahushai, he would say, oh, that star shines bright because of these gases and stuff.
Ionization and
like that.
Yeah, they think because of ionization, there's no God. Just because you can follow everything with a scientific creation. Who made that scientific equation? All right, it had to come from somewhere. What is the source of all energy? What is the source of all things? The source of all things is Yahweh Shem Yahushai, which they cannot understand.
Even they themselves, they say that energy cannot be destroyed, only transferred. So that means that all this energy that has been created was created by someone, by something.
Mm-hmm. And it came from something. What is the substance of all things? And that's that whole God particle that they try to go into that they don't understand. That's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, who's at the center of everything on this earth, man. But they rather give homage to the creation than give them respect to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's why they got to be destroyed. All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 4. Yeah. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 4. It says, but if they were astonished at the power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them. For by the greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionably, the maker of them is seen.
And again, everything in this realm is beautiful because it was created by Yahweh Shai. It has a specific purpose. It has a specific a design. Okay, everything in this realm is beautiful. All right, we think it not beautiful because Esau is running it, but even Esau is perfect in his wickedness because Yahweh Shah made him to be that way. All right, so everything has its place. Everything has a beauty unto it, but you have to see past the visible to the invisible, which is Yahweh Shah.
And in the beginning of verse 5, it says, "For by the greatness of beauty of the creation of the creatures, proportionably the maker of them is seen." So all the things that you see on the earth, the planets, the stars, people, animals, the deep, all those things are a witness to the existence of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, so those are and those are the things. They're just proof that he exists. Like he made everything beautiful in his time, you know. All right, verse 6, it says, "But yet for this they are the less to be blamed, for they pre-adventure are seeking Yahweh and desirous to find them. For being conversant in his works, they search him diligently and believe their sight, because the things are beautiful that are seen."
Because they believe their sight. What's that old saying? Seeing is believing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they believe in what they see, but you also have to have knowledge of Yahweh to in a way to see the unseen. All right, to know of the invisible powers. I'm gonna go to Romans.
You gonna go to Romans? I'll get a Ecclesiastes.
This is Romans chapter 1, verse 21. It says, "Because that when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not as power, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened." Rather than giving praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, they gave glory unto the creation itself. All right, rather than just analyzing, rather than just chilling up underneath the tree, they said, "Oh, let's worship that tree. Let's chop it down and deck it with silver and gold, and do what our hearts desire to unto it." All right.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11. "He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he has set the world in their hearts, so that no man can find out the work that Yahweh maketh from the beginning to the end."
He set the world in their heart. He put the carnality that they go behind into their minds. Vessels fitted for destruction. All right, and going back to verse 21 of Romans chapter 1. Because that when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not as power, neither were thankful, all right, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Their foolish mind was darkened because of the carnality that they leaned upon.
And it goes back to that what you're saying, is saying that seeing is believing. You know, Yahweh can't fit in this realm. He will destroy everything he comes close to. So that's why Yahweh Shai is the image of the invisible power.
The earth is his footstool.
Right. The earth is his footstool. So they gonna know who Yahweh is when Yahweh Shai shows up, but they're not gonna know him in the good sense. They're gonna know him as Elishadja, meaning almighty power, like destruction. All right, but the ones that believe in his name and glorify his holy name, that go beyond the creature and worship the creation and give praise, all glory and praise to the Creator, those are the ones that are going to see his salvation and his mercy. What's the next scripture?
Wisdom of Solomon 13:8.
All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon 13:8. It says, "Howbeit, neither are they to be pardoned, for if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof?"
So if Neil deGrasse Tyson is so wise to understand all the complexities of the earth, why does he not know Yahweh Yahushua? If he knows the complexities of gases and particles and atoms and stuff like that, why does he not know the glory, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Yahushua? Because it wasn't given unto him.
Because he put the world in his heart.
Because he put the world in his heart.
Done. Bottom line, basically, I mean, so like, matter of fact, let me get a precept real quick. This is First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 12. It says, "Now we have not received the spirit of the world." Right. So the ones that believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the world is not in their hearts. We get to surpass that. All right. It says, "Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of Yahweh, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Yahweh."
Was freely given unto us of Yahweh. It was freely given. Yahweh said, hey, because you are an Israelite, all right, you freely have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, not of only who you are, but who I am as well, and the creations that I created around you.
Which things also we speak not in the world on the words of man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man receive not the things of the Spirit of Yahweh, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned.
So because they can't see it, they don't believe it.
Right. And you have to have the Spirit within you to discern the things that are of Yahweh. So you have to have that Spirit. But if you're a natural man, meaning you're just dealing with carnal things and things, the only things you can see, you're not going to be able to see what's really right there in front of you.
Wisdom itself is
more moving than any spirit. And any spirit, it moves like the wind, like the air. You know, but you cannot. So even within that, so they still think about the things that they see. Like they use flags to try to determine which direction the wind is coming from and things like that. Which I get that, especially when you're out there sailing on the seas. But they don't take it any further than that. You know, where is the wind coming from? You know, is there wind in space? Space is the vacuum. So how is this wind trapped here on this world? You know what I'm saying? All these things are done by the ordinances of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. And if you get too caught up and fascinated with the ordinances here on earth, you won't be able to discern the things that are outside this realm that were given to us freely of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua.
Bruce Lee was explaining something to I think it was one of his students. He said, if I point at the moon, don't focus on my finger, focus on what my finger is pointing at.
Right.
And Yahweh Yahushua, he created these creations. So in a sense, he's pointing at these creations, you know, look what I created. And rather than saying, wow, Yahweh, you really did create these. You're so powerful, you're so beautiful. They'll rather be like, wow, wood, oh, wow, fire, you sure are cool. I'm going to worship you.
Yeah.
All right.
This is 1 Corinthians 2:14. It says, "But the natural man receiveth not the things of Yahweh, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they're spiritually discerned. But the spiritual man judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. For who have known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Yahushua HaMashiach." So basically, you have to have that same mindset of the Creator. Because Yahushua created all things, and power was given unto him by Yahweh. You have to understand the mindset of the Creator to understand the Creator and not be dismayed by the signs of the creation. All right?
I'm going to read this real quick. This is Romans chapter 1, verse 22. It says, "Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things, professing themselves to be wise." Not professing themselves to be wise from the wisdom of Yahweh Yahushua. They profess themselves to be wise. They say unto people that they coming out of the womb, they had this in their mind. They were just the best thing since sliced bread. They was just hitting the ground running when they was born. All right, they just got it made. All right, and truly, that's not what it is. Yahweh Yahushua controls everything.
All right, this is Romans 1:28.
God, I got that.
You want to close it out with that one?
This is Romans chapter 1, verse 28. It says, "And even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge," because they have a lot of knowledge built up into this world. A lot of things are upon the internet, but they don't like to give knowledge and glory to Yahweh Yahushua. "And even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. So Yahweh made those vessels fitted for destruction. All right, convenient. Verse 29: being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whispers. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Backbiters, haters of Yahweh, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of Yahweh, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not one to do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. And Yahweh made them that way, so that way he could show that he exists, Yahweh. He made them that way so he could show that he exists. So that way, when he tears all their evil inventions, when he tears down all their evil inventions that they think they has so much power, all right, their buildings, their robots, their jetpacks, all right, all that, he's going to destroy all that, all right, to show that, to prove that he exists, to show that he is a living power.
Do you still have the etymology of malignity?
I'm gonna pull it up. The etymology of malignity. And the etymology of that word malignant, it says also in the sense likely to rebel against Yahweh or authority, contriving maliciously. All right, so they're likely to rebel against Yahweh and authority.
So basically, that lets you know, and rebellion is like the sin of witchcraft. So all this worship of the stars and the planet and the moon and all other kind of birds and animals and all that is witchcraft, man. That's just it. All that is witchcraft, and it goes against the understanding of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So they're in the congregation of the dead spiritually, and they're gonna catch a missile and die physically and be totally dead, man. And that's just it. That's for these other nations and 2/3 of our people. Bottom line. You got any more scriptures?
You got any precepts?
No, I ain't got any. All right, with that, we're going to close it out and give all glory and praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and their true Hebrew name in the Hebrew tongue, Shlaki. Kal, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rekah, Quadash, Ma. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone and our elder Heroin as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth, the sincerity, and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.